Oh, this video makes me so sad. It's Chani, certified feline training and behavior specialist with Wild at Heart, and let's talk about why this is not okay. This is called flooding, and flooding is a behavioral technique where an animal is exposed to a fearful stimulus to the full extent with no escape. And the idea is that eventually they will just not be afraid anymore. This has been scientifically proven to not only be ineffective, but extremely harmful. Flooding can actually increase fear and cause long-term psychological damage, and also can lead to more aggression and learned helplessness. It activates the sympathetic nervous system and not the learning centers, and can lead to animals feeling like they cannot escape, which then leads to more aggression and more anxiety. And there's absolutely no positive associations being built here. And specifically for cats who are prey and predators, they are highly sensitive to stress, and they really desperately want control over their own environment. So this can lead to a complete lack of trust with their guardian. It can lead to increased hiding, and again, it can lead to more stress, more anxiety, and more aggression. Unfortunately, this technique in particular, where people are forcefully wrapping terrified kittens in what people call a purrito, which is a cute way of saying that you are completely confining a terrified animal, has been often normalized and perpetuated by some of the biggest organizations out there. And we need to do better, and we need to stop doing these completely outdated, ineffective, and terribly damaging methods. So I'm going to give you an example of what this would be like for a human being. Let's say you're terrified of spiders and somebody literally wraps you up in a blanket where you have no use over your limbs and you cannot escape. And then they just take a bucket of spiders and dump it over your head. How would you feel? I am guessing that you would feel absolutely terrified and mortified, and your stress responses would be activating at a very high level. And then let's say that they do it again the next day. How would you feel? I am guessing that you would still feel absolutely terrified. And let's say they do it again, and they do it again, and they do it again. So after a few days, or maybe even a few weeks, are you going to be less terrified? Maybe, or maybe you're just realizing, I don't have a choice in this matter, so I am just going to accept this form of punishment and have these spiders dumped over my head, and I'm going to stop screaming, and I'm just going to give up. Now, has that taught you to not be scared of spiders? Or has that taught you that the human that's doing that to you absolutely is not your friend, is not someone who you can trust, and is certainly not someone you're ever going to want to be near? Now let's do my method of desensitization and counter conditioning. Let's say you're terrified of spiders. There's a spider on the wall and you're at a really safe distance because I'm not forcing you to go any closer to that spider. We are keeping it at your pace, and guess what? I'm gonna give you your favorite food. Let's say your favorite food is a donut. I'm gonna give you a piece of that donut as you're sitting at a distance from that spider. Let's say the next day I ask, hey, do you want to come a little bit closer to the spider? And maybe you're like, okay, that's fine. I can go a little bit closer to that spider. Great, I'm going to give you more of that donut. Let's say you don't feel comfortable to get closer to that spider. Guess what? I'm still going to give you a piece of that donut. Let's say on the third day, I offer you a different reinforcement. Let's say we're gonna play a game and you're so excited and happy to play this game that you don't even realize that you are actually closer to that spider. And guess what? You're gonna get more donuts. And because I'm letting you move at your pace, I'm allowing you to have control and bodily autonomy, you are even more trusting of me. And so when I encourage you to get a little bit closer to that spider, you trust me because you know I'm not gonna force you to do it, and I'm still gonna give you some of that donut. Let's say at the end of it, you're still a couple of feet from that spider. Have you made progress? Absolutely. Are you holding that spider? No. Do I need you to hold that spider? I don't need you to hold that spider because you have already overcome a lot of your fear. You have already made tremendous progress, and you have made that progress on your terms. Now you can go and watch. I have tons of videos on how I work with shy, scared, shut down cats and kittens. Now, I don't want this content creator to get a lot of hate. I want them to do better. I want them to learn more effective methods. And again, unfortunately, we have experts in this field that are still promoting this outdated and dangerous method. And remember, sometimes even the best of intentions still lead to a super negative impact. So intentions are great, but we also need to look at the impact. And we also need to remember that these are babies. These are literal babies. If you want to do what's best for cats, if you want to know the latest science and research on how to best help and advocate for cats, and if you are 10 out of 10 always team cat, you should follow me. I have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. It's all Wild at Heart Cats. You can hire me for one-on-one consultations. It's all virtual. Just check my website, wildatheartcats.com. And of course, Sweet Pea wanted to say hi.